like me, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're into true crime, and leave a comment down below. Honestly, I forgot my first comment winner. I didn't even screenshot. I usually screenshot my first comment winner name, but I did not, and I haven't posted in like 3 weeks. So yeah, sorry guys. There's always a next time, right? So of course today's video, it's gonna be from my true crime handy dandy book, and also I've been working on my Halloween cases, my crime Halloween cases that's gonna be coming out on Halloween. So let's get straight into the video. Sit back, relax, grab a snack, some popcorn, some water, some wine, a blanket. Enjoy some crime time. Warning, this video may contain details of graphic content. This channel is for mature audiences only. Some viewers might find this disturbing. On a crisp October night, this is perfect for this month, in 1958, 15-year-old Carl Eder threw a rope out of his second-story bedroom window, quietly climbed down, and disappeared into the dark suburb of Rochester, New York. Carl spent the next month hitchhiking his way across the country, eventually ending up in the San Diego area. As the child of a first-generation German immigrant family, Carl had experience making cabinetry for his father and looked for work in the area, but had trouble because of his age. The 6'4" boy crossed the southern border of the United States into Tijuana, Mexico, where he found a shop that would make him a fake identification card. Carl paid for his ID card, called himself Charles Harrison, and crossed back into San Diego. Still unable to find work, Carl slept in a coat closet in the Mission Beach ballroom. That was when he first met 39-year-old Tom Pendergast. Tom Pendergast was a religious man. As a youth, he spent time in reform school after he and some friends were caught stealing a car and taking it for a joyride. After that experience, he made it his life's mission to help young boys find their way in life and avoid a life of crime. I know that's right. Turning a negative into something positive. I love it. Throughout the years, Tom had tried to help 4 young boys. He brought them into his home in El Cajon, I don't know, just east of San Diego, and introduced them to his wife and children. He gave them food and a place to sleep and helped them try to find work. His efforts, however, hadn't always worked. On one occasion, a boy that he let into his home robbed him and was never seen again. But that didn't deter Tom. He believed God had a task for him, and he was determined to follow through. I know that's right. On a stormy Southern California night, Tom Pendergast was driving home from work when he saw the pimply-faced Carl Eder hitchhiking on the side of the highway. He felt sorry for the boy and knew right away that he was homeless, headed for a life of crime, and needed help. Tom offered the boy a ride, and Carl introduced himself as Charles Harrison. By the end of the drive, Tom invited Carl to his family home for dinner and a place to sleep for the night. The Pendergast family embraced Carl and were more than happy to let him stay in a cottage they had on their property while he looked for work. Lois Pendergast made dinner every night for Carl, Tom, and their 4 young children, Diane, Alan, Thomas Jr., and David. 6 weeks had passed arrested as any 4-year-old would. She jumped up and down on the bed, ran around the room, and screamed. But Carl had enough. He grabbed the girl and threw her to the floor. When the small girl's head hit the hard floor, it cracked her skull. She was killed instantly. 39-year-old Lois Pendergasts ran into the room and screamed, "You killed her, you killed her." Carl was in a panic. He ran to the garage where he kept his suitcase, grabbed his 38 caliber pistol and put shells in it. He then ran back into the house and shot 2 warning shots into the wall. When Mrs. Pendergast screamed, he shot her in the left side of her chest. As she lay on the floor, he put the gun to her left temple and shot again. Carl ran back into the garage, reached back into his suitcase, and removed a 10-inch hunting knife. He returned to the house to find 2-year-old Alan Pendergast screaming on the floor. He took the knife and slashed his throat. Then slashed the throat of Diane to make sure she was dead. Carl pulled Diane and Alan's bodies into the bathroom and piled them on top of each other. He then dragged Mrs. Pendergast's body into the bathroom and laid her next to her children. Oh my God, he killed the whole family. For the next hour, Carl sat in the front bedroom of the home and waited for the 2 older boys to return from school. 6-year-old Thomas Jr. got home first. When he walked in the front door, Carl grabbed him, but the boy wiggled free and ran into the garage. Good job. Thomas Jr. was no match. Was no match for the tall, lanky Carl. He caught Thomas in the garage bathroom, slit his throat, and disemboweled him as if he were cutting a deer. Soon afterwards, 9-year-old David walked in the front door to find a knife at his throat. Carl quickly sliced his throat and cut his torso from his navel to his breastplate. He left the 5 dead bodies inside the house, walked out the front door, sat on the front steps, and waited for Tom to get home from work. The person that literally brought you into their house, Tom. You killed his whole family, and probably him. And the whole time I thought Tom was going to do something to Carl when he picked him up. This is a plot twist. When Tom Pendergast drove up to the house, Carl didn't give him time to exit the vehicle. He pointed his pistol at him, got in the passenger side of the car, and told him to drive. For 2 hours, Carl forced Tom to drive randomly through the streets of San Diego without telling him what he had done to his family. When they reached the Mission Beach area, Eder Carl told Tom to stop at a gas station and forced him into the men's bathroom at gunpoint. He instructed Tom to take off his clothes. He had no choice but to comply. As Carl removed his own clothes and put on Tom's, Tom attacked him and wrestled the gun away from him. Tom managed to get the gun, but Carl fled out the bathroom door and ran down the alley. Tom had escaped with his life, but he had no idea the shock he was in for when he would return home. When he opened the door to his home, he first found his oldest son, David, eviscerated on the living room floor. Then he found his wife and 2 youngest children piled on top of each other on the bathroom floor. Tom screamed and lifted his wife's body, pulling her into the hallway. In shock and disbelief, he cradled her in his arms and cried. Lastly, he found Thomas Jr. butchered in the garage. Oh my God. When police Police noticed the trousers he was wearing were far too large for him. Tom Pendergasts was only 5'10", while Carl was 6'4". 15-year-old Carl was 6'4". 15-year-old Carl was 6'4". Oh my god. Police thought there could be some truth to his story, so they alerted all law enforcement in the area and the media to be on the lookout for a suspect that matched Carl's description. They also knew that he would be wearing Tom's clothes, with trousers that would have been much too short for him. Tom was taken to the psychiatric ward of the county hospital for fear that he may be S-word. When doctors cleared him, he was brought to the police station where he was given multiple lie detector tests and questioned. Tom told investigators, quote, "I was trying to save a soul," end quote, when he took Carl into his home. After 7 hours of interrogation, detectives finally believed his story and stepped up the search for Carl. Eder. Police searched the canyons around San Diego on horseback and in helicopters, while members of the public called in hundreds of tips. It seemed likely that Carl may have crossed the border again and escaped into Mexico. Detectives had another theory that he may have taken another family hostage in the area and conducted hundreds of door-to-door searches looking for him. The only clue they had was the bloody t-shirt found a mile from the gas station that he fled from. 3 days after the murders, Carl was in Mission Beach, again trying to hide from authorities. He managed to buy a loaf of bread and a hamburger without being recognized, but when a man saw him walking in front of his house, he instantly recognized the short leg pants he was wearing. The man ran next door to his friend's house, who was a San Diego police officer. Still wearing his pajamas, the officer hopped out onto his bicycle and rode in the direction that Carl had been walking. The officer caught up with Carl at a Mission Beach amusement center that had been closed for the winter. Carl had been sleeping in the bathroom there for the past 3 days. When the officer confronted Carl, he claimed he didn't have any identification, but handed him a jury summons with the name Max Turner. The officer didn't believe him and said, "You are Carl Eder," or Eder. To which Carl offered no resistance and said, "Yes, I am." Tom Pendergasts was at the police station when Carl was arrested and brought in. Tom yelled, "Why did you do it? Why did you do it?" After a brief silence, Carl quietly said, "I didn't want to, Tom." When questioned by police, Carl easily admitted to killing the family. Quote, "Yes, I killed them all. The noise of the kids annoyed me. I must have flipped my lid," end quote. Carl explained how he butchered each member of the family, but when asked why he didn't kill Tom, he replied, "I didn't want to kill him. He was really good to me." Despite being 16 years old at the time of the murders, Carl was tried as an adult, as he should, because he was still a juvenile. However, he was not eligible for the death penalty. Initially, he pleaded innocent, but after persuasion by his lawyer, he changed his plea to guilty. At sentencing, his lawyer explained his client was eager to start psychiatric treatment, hoping that this would add some leniency to his sentence. I honestly don't get why people represent people like that. Like, what can you say as a lawyer to get your client out of trouble? What can you say? Like, why do people represent killers? I don't get it. Carl was given 5 life sentences, 3 concurrent sentences, and 2 consecutive. mom said to him, "Rest in peace there, Carl, remember that." Tom addressed the media and said, quote, "I don't think he should ever be released. I don't consider him excused for killing my wife and 4 children because of any mental condition. He's just wicked. It was premeditated murder. Carl doesn't feel any remorse," end quote. Carl spent the next 15 years moving from prison to prison throughout the California Department of Corrections. At one point, he was just a few cells down from the notorious glamour girl slayer Harvey Gladman. I'm gonna have to look her up. I ain't never heard of her. Harvey Gladman. In 1971, Carl was sent to the California Correctional Institution in a minimum security prison with a population of 1,200 inmates. Tehachapi allowed him the freedom to work outside of the prison for periods of time without supervision. Carl had been working on a farm work detail for 3 years without incident until one day he vanished. In October 1974, when he was 32 years old, Carl was on farm detail working completely unsupervised. Wow. When he simply walked away. Personnel working at the farm didn't notice he was gone for at least 75 minutes. He was long gone. Still wearing his prison denims, Carl was on the run. When prison officials searched his cell, they found a note reading, "I've done enough time, I'm leaving." Motherfucker, what? Who does he think he is? While in prison, Carl had contact with several extremist groups, including white supremacist outlaw motorcycle groups, Vincermios Brigade, and the Symbionese Liberation Army. It's believed that any of these groups could have been involved in assisting his escape. Throughout the years, authorities tried to locate Carl, including featuring him on America's Most Wanted and offering a $20,000 reward, but he seemed to have completely disappeared. Oh, this is crazy. There were reports he was spotted in Calistoco and St. Helena, California, but police had no luck in apprehending him. As of this time of the writing, Carl would be approaching 80 years old. Police speculate that he either left the country or was killed by one of his own extremist groups. Oh